Get ready.
Holy shit! What's up, guys? It's been a little while. It might not have seemed like a long time to you guys, but it seems like a hell of a long time to me, because I'm finally back at home, finally down to editing and making videos, and I'm gonna be back to streaming pretty much tonight. For you guys that don't know, I've been gone for a bit over 10 days now, and that was a very unexpected trip because of all the damn things that happened during it. It was supposed to be a vacation. It was half of it an adventure, half of it absolute hell, and about another, well, there's two halves already. We'll just say another quarter of actual relaxation. But I quickly wanted to talk about it because so many damn people have been asking about where the hell I've been, what's going on, what happened, and how a banana nearly killed me. First and foremost, our initial trip plan was to take myself, a few friends, and the waifu over to Florida, where we'd enjoy a lot of the theme parks, including Universal Studios, as well as Disney World and stuff like that, because a lot of them had not been before. After that, we would take a very brief 30 to 40 minute flight to the Bahamas, which I've been to like 5 or 6 times over the past 6 years or so. And I absolutely love the islands. If there's ever a place I want to go to vacation, it's absolutely there. But this all got completely messed up. As you guys know, right around in that time frame, there was a hurricane. Hurricane Matthew was devastating a lot of the island territories in the Caribbean and then rolling up to the East Coast, but at the time we were kind of hopeful that it was just going to continue going west and we'd be okay. So the first couple of days were very hopeful. Nothing was canceled yet. We were completely good, and we were about to go to some theme parks when all of a sudden I take my glasses off my face and this shit literally fell apart. I since came home and replaced them, but my primary way of viewing anything was now gone, except for sunglasses, and I can barely see anything at night. So I had no glasses. Like, this is fantastic. I'm not going to see anything for this trip, but my vision's okay. Luckily, we were able to find a Walgreens that had a glasses repair kit. I was able to finite and quickly fix these stupid things where I could actually see. And then the vacation started. We were able to enjoy Universal, which is an absolutely awesome theme park. I think Islands of Adventure is my personal favorite theme park on the entire planet. The Jurassic Parkville, get to go on the Terminator 3D experience, which is still there. So much about that park is great, and the new King Kong ride was awesome. Great homage, great setting, great theme, and probably one of the best lines I've ever been in any theme park ride. I love lines that get you all hyped up to the end. Oh, that ride was absolutely beautiful. I loved it. And then we spent a couple of days there, a couple of days at Disney World, and we didn't want to spend too much time because we were only going to get 2 days in the Bahamas, where we were staying at Atlantis, because that crazy thing is super expensive, so we only got a couple of days for everyone and myself. So this was happening. We were all going through everything. Then all of a sudden one day, I'm actually eating relatively healthy on this trip because I've been on a new healthy food binge, not eating a lot of sugar and salts and just eating good food. I'm getting used to it. It feels good. So we were sitting at a food stand, and my friend and another friend ordered, I think it was Simmons. They were sitting there and they ordered ice cream sandwiches. I'm like, you know what? That sounds really good. But then I saw a fresh bowl of bananas right there, and they had chocolate-covered bananas or regular bananas, and I made the conscious choice, you know what, I don't need all that, I'm just going to take a regular banana and I will feel great. So I took a regular banana while my friends ate delicious ice cream sandwiches and chocolate-covered bananas. A little bit down the road, I was not feeling too hot during this entirety of the trip, and by the end of the night, after going out to eat, I was feeling terrible, and we got back to the room because I felt like absolute death. And believe it or not, I got food poisoning from a banana at Disney World, which pretty much KO'd me for about 2 days. And that night was absolute hell for one specific reason. I have a huge fear of yakking, of barfing, of throwing up, of upchucking, whatever the hell you want to call it. I have a huge fear of it, and there's a good reason behind it. I've always had it since I was young, and it's been 10 to 15 years since I've even had to hover over a toilet in the need of throwing up. And I did a fair share of it that night, and it was absolutely terrible. I was trying my best not to pass out during it just because, man, everything about it is very overwhelming, and my body was getting destroyed for an entire, 8 hours straight, and it just wouldn't stop. And it was hell. It was absolutely terrible. The worst thing about it is that it just kept ringing in my stupid brain that I could have made the choice between the real banana, which I did choose, and the completely fabricated, fake, artificial banana, which has been pumped full of a ridiculous amount of preservatives and sugars and everything crazy to make it taste delicious because it was covered in chocolate and frozen and everything like that. and I'd have been completely fine eating that one. Is it healthy? No, but I would have been completely okay for the majority of this trip if I chose the one that was barely food, because it would have just been fine. I learned a lot. I learned never to eat produce ever again at a theme park if that's the case, and to actually go for the things that have a lot of preservatives and kind of crappy food. I don't intend on eating it for the rest of my life, but if I eat it for one trip, that ain't so bad. I learned a lesson that day, and I'm glad I did, because it pretty much KO'd me for that night, the next day, and mostly the next day after that, as we found out the hurricane was literally coming straight for us. We were in Orlando at the time, and the path of this thing was making it sound like, and all the media we were looking at was kind of touting to us that Florida's going to be gone. Like, goodbye to this entire state, and we can't do anything about it. We can't fly out, we can't fly in, and we were just completely stuck in this one place. And our hotel was kicking us out because we weren't planning on staying there a few days. So while trying to recover from being sick, I had to coordinate a hotel around the Orlando area that was not actually occupied because everything was gone. I think 90% of all hotel space around the Orlando area was completely booked. So I had to find something, and we did. After like 6 hours of calling up so many different hotels, we found someone that would actually house us for 2 days, and we got that hotel. And then after that, the storm passed, and it wasn't nearly as bad. I guess it hugged the right side. It ravaged the coastline, which was absolutely terrible. But we were relatively okay. Like, it was just kind of 50 to 60 mile an hour winds and some rain, and we've been through worse things here in California with the Santa Ana winds in my memory. So it was kind of okay. We just kind of stayed in the room all day. So then the next plan was that, are we even going to be able to do the next part of our trip? Are we going to be screwed out of going to the Bahamas, which was like the real whole point of this vacation, was to go to the Bahamas. And all this trips to Disney World and Universal was kind of like a bonus thing that we wanted to do for the people that had not done it before. And I was stressing out like crazy while still trying to recover from this thing, because at the time I was on the phone all day with the different airlines that we had to get us back to the US, to get us to the Bahamas, and to figure out if they would even take us at the hotel. And luckily they did. They eventually were able to, because based on some situations and the fact that I was calling to make sure this was happening so much, they were able to let us stay at the resort, even though we weren't allowed to. Like, they weren't making any new reservations at all. But since they were carrying us over, we were okay, and we were actually going to have our vacation, which was going to be really cool, even though I was still recovering from all this crazy sickness. And when we got there, it was nuts. Like, the island was absolutely wrecked, but a lot of the homes and the houses were okay, because I guess the Bahamas, and especially Nassau, is kind of has strict building codes, so they were pretty good. Sorry if the story's going on for a long time, but there's a couple of things at the end I do really want to cover, which was absolutely amazing. But we got there, and the coolest thing was that not everything was open at the Atlantis, and the water was pretty stormy, because I go to these places for the beaches. Like, I like tropical beaches a lot. It's like my #1 favorite thing. But everything was kind of messed up, and they were still recovering, so there was nobody there. Like, this resort, which is normally just filled to the brim like a Disneyland theme park, barely had anyone there. And I had been to this area around it, like Atlantis is open to the public, so I'd been there a couple of times in the past, and it's always busy as hell. This was the first time actually staying there, and it was crazy to see that it was us and a few other people, and I could count less than 30 to 60 actual people staying there that I saw each day, which was pretty cool, because the next few days when all the rides opened up, we were literally alone, man. Like, it was nuts. So we got to actually have our vacation. It was a little exhausting because we were out in the sun all day, getting sunburned, having fun, going on water slides, going to the beaches, checking out the beaches, checking out all the different shops around Nassau, which is still always fun as hell. This was a lot of fun, and the coolest part about it is that in Nassau, I wish I could tell you I was exaggerating about this. I'm like 2,500, 2,600 miles away from California. We're hundreds of miles off the mainland of the USA, which is my home. And in Nassau, we're getting... every time I went outside, I was recognized by someone in Nassau that I had never seen before, and they're like, "Hey, I watched the streams. Hey, I've been watching the videos since Marvel Assist Me." It was blowing my mind. I took a couple of pictures with the dudes and put them up on Twitter for the guys that didn't have, like, phones, and I wish I had my phone on me, so I said I'd put it up on Twitter for them. It was really crazy. Like, people that worked at Atlantis, people that were just strolling about. It was like 6 different dudes and girls, which was really crazy, that actively watched the streams and recognized myself, Kenny, and Simmons, which was surreal. Like, it's crazy to think that the stuff we do here actually reaches a global collective. And hearing about the FGC stuff they have going on there, it was kind of crazy to see a lot of them still like playing Street Fighter 4 because not a lot of them like Street Fighter 5. The same thing happened when I visited St. Lucia earlier this year, and I ran into a couple of dudes at the airport, which were pretty big fighting game community guys, and they lived on St. Lucia, and their number one game was Mortal Kombat X at the time. It's just crazy going to places that I would never ever expect to get recognized, and I get recognized by a lot of people. It's really weird. But in the long run, we were gone for way longer than I wanted to be. We made our trip back a couple of days ago, and I already started feeling sick as hell. I don't know what the hell happened. Again, I think I went to a Chili's, and I ate something bad with shrimp in it, and I couldn't believe it, because as soon as I got home, I was feeling like death all over again, right as I started feeling better. So here we are today. I think this video's gone on for way too damn long, because holy shit, I'm back. I want to make videos. I want to stream again. I feel like I have my energy. I got new fucking glasses. I can actually see again. And the one thing during the trip, especially when I was sick, that I was missing a lot, I just wished I was at home streaming. I wished I was at home with my waifu, with my dog. Wish I was making videos, because when you're away from that stuff just for a little bit of time, just for like not even that long, I get really, really jealous of the time I had before. And my God, man, it's ridiculous how much you take things for granted sometimes in terms of your health, in terms of what you have, and I try not to. I took my health for granted because, my God, I feel amazing right now, just the fact that I don't feel ridiculously sick. And the fact that I'm back, I'm home, I get to make this stuff. I can't wait. So, thank you dudes very much for being patient with me. I'm back in town. Shoutouts to everyone that was in Nassau that said hi to us. Everyone that was in St. Lucia earlier this year that said hi to us. The couple of dudes who ran into Orlando that said hi to us at theme parks. Thank you guys. That means a lot. And I just want to start making things all over again. So much to do. Games to play, streams to stream, videos to make. I'll be getting to it right now. Thank you dudes a ton for being patient and hanging out, and I'll see you next time.